part of the relocation program?
No. No, that was on my own initiative. At the time, there wasn't much of anything here. And the only way I felt I could break out of this or do something for myself was go out on my own and see what was out there. And consequently, you know, I worked and eventually went to school. Graduated from the University of Minnesota. Had various positions in the Twin Cities and the area coming dependencies. And returned home here in 1985 at the height of the land claims controversy here on White Earth. And I've been here ever since.
So in the 50s, was it pretty much state jurisdiction? Was it just like the reservation didn't exist?
Pretty much so. Yeah, there was no real consciousness on the part of the population here that there was anything but state jurisdiction over most issues, you know, including hunting and fishing and criminal and civil laws. And so there was no real consciousness on the part of the people that we were anything else but under state jurisdiction.
Was that when a lot of people started losing their lands for tax forfeiture? I mean, it happened before that, of course.
Well, I think it happened before that, and there wasn't even an awareness of, you know, land issues here. I guess I can give you an example. I just found out a couple of years ago that we have a parcel of land, you know, that I and my family are heirs to out on the eastern part of the reservation here. There's an 80-acre plot that still is held in trust by the United States government that belongs to the heirs of a full-blood person. And I just found out about this a couple of years ago when they notified me that they wanted to cut the timber on the parcel and needed consent. I haven't consented to that in the sense that I haven't even looked at the property. I know where the property is at. I did some research and looked at some plot maps and where the property is located, and I would like to go out there and take a look at it and see what's on it. But what they're telling us is that they want to harvest timber on it, and they need a majority of the heirs to consent to that. And thus far, I don't think they've gotten that. And out of interest, I want to take a look at that property and see what has happened to that. And if it is clear cut, or if they've taken any of the timber off it or wood off it, I'd like to see the consent to that of the majority of heirs who are owners of that property. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is, you know, for 58 years we didn't know we had that property. And now suddenly we're probably one of the few peoples here that in fact, have property on this reservation that's still held in trust by the United States government. And it's interesting to me, you know, to go all this time and not know that, you know, what has been done with that property over the years.
What was one of the big problems of the land claims? People you didn't even know that they were heirs to lands.
Oh yeah, yeah. And that was obvious, you know, the had properties in controversy in the 2415 land claims research, and things were printed up in the Federal Register and so forth. And a lot of the people, when I had got involved back in '83, knew nothing of this property until we actually went to the communities and shared this information with people that, you know, their grandparents or parents, in fact, holders of property that they knew nothing about, and they were trying to settle these cases without their authorization. I think that's the tragedy of the whole thing, that a lot of the people knew nothing of their property, and you know, that was illegally or inappropriately taken without proper consent to that. So. And I don't think that all of those land controversies were not fully investigated. I think they did it up to a point, and then realized that they opened Pandora's box, so to speak, and there were a lot more questions to this property being taken illegally, and so they had to fix it. And I believe that's what they did with, you know, the so-called Land Settlement Act, WELSA, to reward the thieves and, you know, give the people a pittance of money. It's my recollection is accurate here. I believe the WELSA was finally passed in '86, '87, and they said that this would be cleaned up in 5 years. And here we're in 2007. My understanding is they've got about a quarter of that done. And so it's interesting to note that they probably got a quarter, or it might be a third. I don't know what the actual count is, but they haven't settled the controversy. And that's what, 21 years later.
Yeah. It was presented that there was only 100,000 acres involved. There was probably a lot more of illegally transferred land.
Well, yeah, that's my belief, because once they had brought that to light, you know, there were other issues, and I think they say the money ran out for that particular investigation. But I think they, like I said, they opened Pandora's box, and they had to, you know, close it up here before they got into, you know, more land being in controversy here.
But isn't WELSA set up so that anytime if they find a parcel in one of those categories, that it's then just set up for compensation rather than that it comes under the Act? It goes well beyond the 100,000 acres that they were talking about in the debate on the Act.
I think that's true. And you hear different things from different people involved in, paying people off or compensating them. And, it's not. I hear things like, well, we ran out of money, so, and it's cost them a lot more money than what the legislation had proposed, a lot more money. And I don't think that there was any anticipation that, they figured that they were going to give a fixed sum and that was going to be it, but that hasn't happened. There are people being compensated and others haven't, and who knows.